I remember all those fantastic games on that console. I should just go and buy one. I mean, they can't be that expensive, right? What the fuck? What the hell is going on with 3DS pricing? You're telling me to buy a 3DS in good condition with the box, it costs more than a Nintendo Switch. What? This is only a thing happening on the 3DS. If you want to look for a normal DS, it's a lot cheaper. How did we end up here? Because something just isn't adding up. It sold roughly about 70 million units, and so did Game Boy Advance, so wouldn't they be the same sort of price? But no, it's nowhere near that at all in terms of price gaps. So what has caused everyone to literally empty their wallets the second they see the word 3DS on something? The first reason, the game library. There's just something about the 3DS's game catalog that speaks to a lot of people right now. There's a lot of games that are stuck on that system. Also, the reason why people want to pick up a 3DS compared to, say, a DS is because it can also play DS games. I don't think anyone wants to carry around 5 different systems. They'll try and consolidate it as much as possible. And it can not only play DS games, but it can play Game Boy, NES, Super Nintendo, some Sega stuff, and can even do crazy things like N64 on it. There's just such a huge library on this console for you to delve into. Now, the next reason I want to bring up is quite obvious: homebrew. There are so many mods out there that you can do with these 3DSs, and the best part is all homebrew on these systems are completely free. All you need is what? SD card, about an hour of time, brain preferably, and you can get yourself up and running with lots of game mods, lots of different ROM hacks as well, emulators. The list just goes on and on and on. Coming into my third reason, which is the hardware is very unique. Let me just show you some modern handhelds. So here we have Switch 2, Steam Deck, and the original Switch. And here's a little 3DS right next to all of them. But can you see the big problem is that none of these handhelds are optimal for playing these games at all. Okay, let's start listing out each of the issues for them. For starters, the original Switch, well, we can't natively play 3DS games on it, and it doesn't have a dual screen setup. It's also kind of big. In fact, they're all kind of big and bulky and noisy. These all have big, loud fans inside of them. They get quite warm because of all the horsepower inside of these. They're described as portable handhelds. Are they really? You can't chuck these in a pocket. We have truly lost these proper pocketable gaming devices. And stuff like the Switch, Steam Deck, Switch 2, they're all kind of hard for me to bring around to places, because if I want to bring one of these consoles somewhere, I have to at least bring them in a carry case or a bag. And because of that, they very rarely leave my house. But also, the 3DS is a lot more easier to pick up and play. You could just have a few minutes, play a little Mario Kart on it or something. And then once your time is up, you just close the screen, slip it into your pocket, and that's all you've got to do. But with some of the new consoles, yeah, you could kind of do that. Turn off the console, put it into sleep mode, but say if you put it in a case afterwards, well, there's a fan inside that console, and that's going to be running, and that case is going to get toasty, and if you leave something like that in there for too long, it could overheat, and that's not healthy. Now, coming into my fourth reason, once you get a 3DS, it's very cheap to run. Let me explain. So on newer consoles, well, games are becoming eye-wateringly expensive, especially since a lot of these systems aren't cheap to buy to begin with, especially once you start accounting for, a Pro controller or a dock or an SD card. 3DS, Sure, some of the games used are expensive, but let's be real, none of you are doing that. You're just downloading them all, aren't you? But outside of that, there's even just a lot of stuff you can get really, really cheap on these systems. Like you can pick up stuff like Mario Kart, Smash Brothers for way less than a new game price. So my fifth and final reason is probably quite obvious: nostalgia. If you have memories or attachment to a certain product, it's going to lead you to chase it more in your later years of life. Some people are acting like the 3DS is the only console or only electronic device from this sort of age that's going up ridiculously in price, but that's far from the truth. iPods, a lot of them are a lot more expensive than what they used to be, and digital cameras as well are a lot more expensive than they used to be. People don't think in terms of, oh, that's £300, that's £150 more than what it was new. They more think of, how much do I value those memories? People start thinking different when it's related to emotional attachment. And a lot of people put price aside. They're just like, alright, well, yeah, it's a lot of money, but you know what? Those memories are priceless, so I'll do it. Now, what is my advice to navigating through this very chaos market of pricing? Well, I would actually recommend watching this video about importing a Japanese 3DS right here on the screen. I'll meet you over there, and best of luck of finding one for a great price.